So the final piece we're going to look at today is what we're doing around Fortinet SD-WAN. Fortinet is a very big SD-WAN vendor. They have a significant market share. They do a really good job. So we wanted to be able to integrate with their SD-WAN solution to bring that into our SD-WAN ecosystem, give visibility to operations to understand the connectivity, understand performance of my tunnels, my overlay between my sites and data centers, be able to respond quickly to problems, identify issues raised by events and alarms, perform triage activity by drilling into tunnels and application paths to get more information, and then be able to view this information in a way that is helpful to operations, enables them to get a quick understanding of the problems that are existing, and then again, always giving that triage path to be able to drill in to identify root cause of problems and to obviously to solve problems. System integrated with our Fortinet SD-WAN. Now, these are different systems that we have integrated, but remember, all of these can be on one system. That's the beauty of NetOps, right? It's the ability to overlay all these technologies in one system. So here we have our system integrated with Fortinet. We can go and we can look at our plugin information. We can look at the Fortinet example that we have currently being utilized, and we can see here that we have Fortinet Manager, host, the password, the port, username, the domain ID default to 1. But basically, this is all in the documentation. You configure this, and then just like all the other plugins, after a few minutes, you have the inventory begins to flow in, performance data shortly thereafter, events and alarms as well. And now I can go in and I can see I have inventory items related to tunnels, SLA paths, SLA classes, my devices, virtual interfaces. So my SD-WAN inventory now exists. If we look at the tunnels, we can see here we're pulling in all the Fortinet tunnel information. We're looking at the destination transports, protocols, source transport, source device, everything you need to be able to know everything about how this tunnel is constituted from an underlay perspective. So be able to go to the device or the interface associated for my triage activities. So here I'm able to get a quick understanding of my sites, my virtual sites, which is a specific concept for Fortinet. So we've expanded our data model to support this concept of virtual sites, and then my tunnels. So like all the other workflows, I can select an area that I wanted to dig in for more understanding. Here are all my sites. I can get a quick overview of the average latency, loss, and jitter values. I can drill into specific tunnels that are violating certain conditions to understand performance issues that are occurring there. And I can use my geomap as well to understand connectivity related to a specific site. So for example, if I select my Chicago site, we're going to now bring the tunnels and the connectivity based off of the Fortinet configuration. We can see that we're connected to this site here, which is FGTDC, as well as a couple of other sites, a couple of other gateways associated with this as well. So we're connecting from the sites and the gateways as well. I can use my time bar to quickly understand the performance of that tunnel over time. Either of those four. Here's the one connecting to the gateway. We can see that we had high packet loss for a period of time, which contributed to degraded performance. I can look at this from a hierarchical perspective as well if I want to use my health scorecard. But as we know, as an operator, they want to drill in and do their deep dive investigation. Here I can select any of my tunnels. It's going to bring me to my tunnel context page. The tunnel context page is designed to allow the operator to quickly understand the attributes of the tunnel, its connectivity, and then looking at information related to things like the performance compared to baseline, understanding over time how well any of my particular tunnels are performing, where I may be having problems or concerns, the ability to look at things like throughput, to understand congestion for my tunnels, and if I may be having issues related to overutilization of any of my particular tunnels. And then I can even look at tunnels in the perspective of the application policies that are defined within my system. So we can see here that I have four tunnels here. Two of them are having issues related to critical packet loss. against my generic technology. I can specify a specific policy if I want to look at that. So for example, maybe Google Ping. So if I change this, now it's going to leverage the associated with that particular policy only. You can see here we're not having any problems. Depending on what that policy is, we're going to automatically define the threshold ranges for you so that this will be consistent with the SD-WAN controller policy when I'm looking at my performance characteristics for any of my policies. I can also do the same thing with my trends, dig in for more details, looking at maybe how things have been changing over time, areas of concern, where I may be having consistent problems or sporadic problems, and then being able to bring in and tie together that experience data that I showed in that original demo is a big part of this as well. Now, as a user, I could also go in and begin to do additional expanded troubleshooting. I could go in and drill into the router. As I mentioned, we're always linking to provide that contact experience. So if this device was being monitored, I'd be able to look at the metrics associated with this. If this was being mounted through SNMP or through the API itself with the vendor, we'll have specific system statistics that'll get associated with this particular device. In this instance, there are none there, but just like all of our other context pages, that experience would flow naturally based off of all of the metrics and the technologies that that particular item supports. We have inventory, we have alarms, we have performance, we have the ability to do a deep dive triage, and we're doing all of this, again, not just for Fortinet, but we're bringing Fortinet into our already existing SD-WAN ecosystem. So if you're a customer that has more than one SD-WAN vendor, we're providing a seamless way to provide operational support for all of your vendors without having to train individuals up on the intricacies and the differences of each vendor implementation. Great for service providers, great for any enterprise that has multi-vendor SD-WAN solution.